Welcome back to Astroline. Astroline is your official off-season show of the Houston Astros, as heard right here on Sports Talk 790. We have a special guest with us today. He is one of the members of the Astros rotation in 2026. At least he'll be given every opportunity to join the Astros rotation. Ryan Weiss joins us on the show. Ryan, first of all, welcome. And secondly, it's been quite a journey for you to get here to the Houston Astros. We'll talk about the backstory in a little while, but
Yeah.
what are your initial thoughts about being a part of this organization and being a part of the big leagues for the first time in your career?
Honestly, just super excited and super grateful to be here. It feels like it's been a while since I signed, even though it was like a week ago or some whatever. That's what it feels like. But a lot's been going on this off season, so just trying to work this off season and get myself ready for camp.
During the course of this interview, Astros fans are going to learn a little bit about you, and it's quite a story. When you were pitching the last couple of years in Korea, and last year being your best, were the thoughts of this could potentially happen? A major league team could pick me up at the end of the year. I know you were with somebody on your team who signed a pretty nice deal himself. Were those some of your thoughts, or take us through the mindset at the end of this Korean season that where you pitched so well?
Yeah, I mean, I was just obviously, like you said, it's kind of been a wild ride. And last year we had a really good August, and then we didn't play well in September. So I was just like, I was kind of salty the whole off season. Like, okay, like we were really close to making the playoffs, and we just had some injuries. And I love to compete. I want to be in the postseason. I want to be in the playoffs, and so that was my goal this whole past year was like just get to the playoffs and try to give the team the best chance you can. See how far we can go. And we had a really good season. We came up short overall, but yeah, it was we went to the Korean series, and I was just super happy to do that. And I know the fans out there were just starving for uh, for a deep playoff run, and I'm glad that we were able to get as far as we did. But yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun.
I think I saw something. Cody Ponce, by the way, is the other teammate of yours who signed the off-season
Yeah.
deal. That we could talk about Cody's incredible season. You guys were the 1-2 punch. You were in a new stadium last year. The Hanwha Eagles moved into a new stadium,
Yeah.
and I believe, if my numbers are right, they sold out 62 of the 73 home games, which had never happened before in the KBO. What was that season like? You mentioned how starved they were for wins in a
Yeah.
postseason. What was last season like in that new building?
Well, in order to like really explain how last season was, I have to hit on how it was the year before because it was like 13 to 14 grand and like they sold out a ton of games. And then it was like, I can't like the stadium was getting built right behind the current stadium. So I was like, just kind of looking at that every day. I was like, man, I really want to be able to play over there. Like, I really want to like go in the new stadium. And so I was able to, and man, it was electric. It's crazy because I felt like there wasn't really a huge difference between the regular season and the postseason just because of how loud it always is. Like, I mean, it's electric. There's really nothing like it. I've heard like, yeah, MLB playoff baseball is different. And I hope I get to experience that as well. But I mean, the fans, especially the Hanwha fans, are just ridiculous. It's awesome.
And I've heard you on a previous interview talk about how much you loved pitching in Korea to the point where, and I know baseball is always a priority for yours, and it maybe earlier in your life it was priority one, two, and three, and now you've got a lot of different priorities that have shaped your life. You would have been, as much as it's a dream to pitch in the major leagues, and that's the narrative we always think about from the U.S. perspective, but you would have been okay if you had to stay in Korea for another year, right?
Oh yeah, it wasn't like a I'd feel okay. Like we love Korea. I mean, we love it so much, and it's to the point where people ask me when now that I've signed, they're like, are you excited? Like, you excited to be here now? I was like, I mean, like, yeah, but like I'm still gonna miss Korea. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss my teammates. I'm gonna miss the my translator and some of the guys in the front office. Like, I've still been texting them and keeping up with them. Like, it's like I mean, that was the last year and a half of my life was over there. It's like it's a part of my life, and I just really enjoy the people over there and the culture. And I mean, it's a part of me now, and I'm definitely gonna miss it, but I'm excited for the new opportunity at the same time.
The guy you may have crossed paths with in the Diamondbacks organization, who's now re-signed with Arizona, is Merrill Kelly. He revamped his whole career. Very similar to you. He got up to AAA at the affiliated ball level, then went to Korea and kind of revamped his career. He was there longer than you were. He was there 4 years, and now
Yeah.
at age 37, he signs a lucrative 2-year, $40 million deal going back with Arizona. But I saw an interview with him last year saying he has talked to his family seriously about wanting to pitch in the major leagues. And at the point he's done in the big leagues, he wants to finish his career with one more year in Korea. That's how much he loved it. Tell
Yeah.
me you talked about how exciting the fans were and how much you're going to miss your teammates and your translator. What's it like in a foreign land when you only have a few teammates, or maybe there are more, that speak fluent English? And how do you assimilate with your teammates in that way?
Yeah. I mean, you just try to find common ground. It's interesting because last year, because it was my first year, and I was a temp player to start off, so it was kind of like I didn't know if some guys like didn't want to like get close to me or like talk to me a lot because they didn't know how long I was going to be there, and like I totally get that. And then obviously I speak English, they don't, um, and the two other foreigners that were there, both one spoke a little better English than the other one, but English was not their primary language, and so it was different this past year, like having two foreigners or then three total that spoke fluent English. It was like, wow, I can actually like kind of be myself and stuff. And a lot of a good amount of our players knew English. We had one guy that lived in America for 4 years. And so he was my locker mate, which is cool. So like I was able to kind of lean over him, talk shop a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it was just really cool being able to try to find common ground together and with things that aren't quote unquote American, you know? So it was cool.
You may have sparked some Astros fans' interest in maybe going to visit and watch some baseball over there because it
Yeah.
sounds amazing.
You
What's
know,
the game like? Like, what's the atmosphere around a game like? You mentioned how regular season was very similar to postseason just because it was so electric.
so I've never pitched in the World Baseball Classic, but that's from everybody that has, that's what they relate it to. So it's just, you got the drums, you got cheerleaders, you got people that are just going crazy. You can bring your own food into the stadium. Like you can bring your chargers. Like it's not just like a game. It's like their night out. And it's like we had, I think my wife was saying we had for our stadium could hold like 17 and a half. And for the playoffs, like to click on the queue, like to get tickets for the game for the Korean series, the queue got up to like 120,000.
Wow. That's
Ridiculous.
awesome.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
That is so cool. All right, so season ends. You mentioned it did not finish the way you wanted to. But then you start to hear some rumblings about having a chance to be in the big leagues. Was it the Astros and a few other teams? And if so, what made the Astros the right choice for you?
Yeah, I mean, there was several teams that were interested, and I think it really just came down to it seemed like Dana had has a lot of confidence in me and believes in me and believes in kind of the journey that I've been on and just believes that I am a starting pitcher and that's kind of why I decided to go to Korea and be an indie ball is like I didn't want to be a reliever anymore. I genuinely just don't really have as much fun in the bullpen as I do as a starter. And I think that interest really it spoke volumes. And then just kind of meeting the guys and stuff like that. It just I mean we're country too, so like it works out that we're in Texas. So yeah, we're excited.
As you come to Houston and you meet Dana and you meet Joe Espada in person and you meet Josh Miller, what have they told you? Have they told you, hey, we really want you to be a part of the rotation, show up in spring training, let's get after it? What messages have you gotten or received from those three?
Yeah, like you said, just kind of just work, do what you need to do. I would say work your tail off in the off season, but that kind of comes with the territory. I feel like, and so just come in ready, and it's going to be cool because we're kind of learning how each other work. They're going to learn me. I'm going to learn them. I've heard great things about how the Astros are in terms of development for pitchers. No matter how good you are, they always seem to make you better. So I guess that answers the previous question too. But yeah, I'm just excited to kind of get to work with them and just get there and start doing what we're supposed to do.
So this is the present. 2026 will be your big league debut. We're excited to watch that. Let's go and go all the way back to the beginning. So we mentioned it's been a journey. You just turned 29 last week. By the way, belated happy birthday. Joe
Thank you.
Espada got a hold of you on your birthday. That's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, he did. He did. I
That's
appreciated that.
that's awesome that Espada made it reached out as a new member of the Astros. So South Elgin High School in Illinois.
Mhm.
You end up at Wright State. You redshirt your freshman year. Tell us about where you were coming out of high school, what your thoughts were, how you ended up at Wright State.
Yeah, I mean, I transitioned to being a pitcher my junior year of high school, and then was kind of pitching. And I remember my mom went up to my pitching coach in high school, and she's like, "I know we're not talking D1, but like, where do you like? Do you think he's got a chance?" And he was like, we'll see, kind of deal. And so I just try to work hard over the winter before my senior year, and just try to put myself in a position to where I could like have some people interested in me. And I ended up having some interest, but I signed to a JUCO. And then a week later, Wright State saw me. I went and visited their campus, and I was like, this is I think where my next home is. And so that's where I wound up. And I think it was perfect for me. If I went to a Power Five school or somewhere like that, it probably wouldn't have been the best thing for me. And so I'm very grateful that I was able to go to Wright State.
When you make your big league debut, I believe you'll be one of less than 10 players that have pitched or played at Wright State that have been in the major leagues. One of them being Joe Smith, who was here
Yeah.
earlier
Yeah.
in his Astros career. Have you guys crossed paths?
Yeah, he used to in the offseason, he used to when he was still playing, he would come to Wright State, throw a little bit. I'd always joke with him because he was throwing in Jordans, and obviously, like I'm in college, can't afford Jordans, so I was like, dude, you're like ripping those up, and he goes, it's fine. I was like, must be nice, like so. Yeah, no, we crossed paths a little bit.
Was it at Wright State or was it at Cape Cod or a combination where you first thought, hey, this is something that could go beyond and I can make a living at this?
I know. I don't know really if I ever have thought that way, to be honest. Like when I just remember my freshman year at Wright State when I was hurt. Um, there was a couple guys that got drafted, and I remember like Wright State put up like a post, and it wasn't anything crazy on Instagram. It was just like a drafted by this person, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like I wonder if like I could have a post about me like that, and then it happened, and that was cool. But um, I don't think my dream when I was a kid was ever to like be a big leaguer. I was always kind of just like I played sports because like my friends did, and I wanted to like continue to foster that friendship and just be competitive. And one thing kind of led to another. And like I feel like I always kind of say like I feel like baseball found me. Like I didn't really find baseball because I played multiple sports. But yeah, I mean it's pretty cool. Like, but I also understand that like it can be taken from you at any time. So it's just I'm just grateful.
What were your other sports?
Baseball, basketball, football.
Oh, you did all three. You're a
Yeah.
year-round guy, which
Yeah.
I think we can talk about this on another show. But I think that's so much healthier than pitching year-round. But that's another
Yeah.
show, another time for another show.
That's right.
Uh, fourth round pick. So you did well enough in between Wright State and Cape Cod that your fourth round pick of Arizona in 2018. You pitch a couple of years and the pandemic hits. That for a lot of guys at the lower level of the minor leagues, that was a really rough time. What did you do during 2020?
Yeah, I just try to get better. I just kind of had a feeling after 2019, and you guys probably know the name Daniel Bard. Um, he was our mental skills coach back in 2018, 2019, and I got called up to high A, and I was throwing like 92, 93, and I was like, dude, I just don't think this is gonna cut it at the next level. And he's like, okay, like then get to work. I was like, well, I kind of need some help. Like, I don't know how to do it. And so once the pandemic hit, like I was able to come to North Carolina, and it's actually where I met my wife prior to coming to North Carolina. And then once we were living here, I started training, and I was the next season, and I was sitting like 95, 94, and the previous year I was sitting like 91. So I had a velo jump, and I think that was what allowed me to get to Double A out of 21 spring training. But yeah, I mean, I think I tried to use it to the best of my ability. I didn't want to go play for different teams. I was pretty irritated that I wasn't on the taxi squad because I did believe I was good enough, but I mean, it is what it is. Like if you're not, you're not. You got to go to work. So that's kind of what it was.
So you went to work, you start the next year at Double A, right here in Texas, down the road a ways, but Amarillo,
Yeah.
right? And then
Yep.
you end up at Triple A Reno, and then at the end of the year, you're out of the 40-man roster. So now you're thinking, my goodness, I'm a step away, right, from a
Yep.
big league career.
Yep.
From 21 through 23, you're right on that edge with the
Yep.
Diamondbacks and the Royals. Never quite got that big league call. That had to be a tough time to be that close, but yet not have that opportunity. And what then
Yeah.
led you? You mentioned you didn't love the bullpen. Is that what led you to say, let's see what else is out there after Kansas City let you go, after the Diamondbacks let you go? Let's see what else is out there so I can be a starter.
Yeah. I just believe that I'm a starter. Like I love like once I start breaking a sweat, I feel like that's when I start getting going. Um, and it was like whenever I was out of the bullpen, if I gave up a run in the first inning or if I gave up two in the first, I was like, I know I can go 2 to 3 more innings. And it was like, well, you don't have the ability to do that when you're a reliever. So it's like you give up one or two, like now my ERA is a 9. It's like, well, I know I could have went out there and probably gotten a 0. But yeah, in 21 was a really fun year. 22 was not very fun at all, and then beginning of 23 was also not fun at all. So I just I think I idolized being a big leaguer so much, and it ate me alive. And then that's why going to indie ball and then just kind of rerouting my mindset and then going to Asia, it just really helped me because like that's not what I idolize anymore. And so that's what's helped me a lot.
It takes some of the pressure off, right?
It takes all the pressure. Yeah, it takes all the pressure away, and then you can play free. I mean, that's just what Christ does for us. So yeah, I mean, I'm just grateful.
So it was basically from the time you were drafted until 2023 when you were released from Omaha. By the way, kind of a crazy when you got taken off the 40 man with Arizona was because Dallas Keuchel got promoted.
Yes.
Dallas, former Astro. They're a wild connection
Oh yeah.
with
When I heard he was getting added, I literally told my buddy, I was like, well, see y'all in a couple of weeks. I was like, it's probably gonna be me. Like,
So now you're kind of in the middle of 2023. It's June. You're not sure what the next step is. Tell us how you end up in the Atlantic League with High Point.
yeah. I definitely did not want to play indie ball. I felt like I was better than that, to be frank. And then once I put my ego aside and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go play indie ball. And Frank Viola is the coach, and his resume speaks for itself. Like I can go learn from him, and I did. And we had several affiliates interested in me after like a month or two at the Atlantic League, and nobody was really biting. And then a Taiwan offer came, and I was like, they have a league. I was like, that's cool. And I was like, just trying to learn a little bit about it. And I was like, yeah, I'm down. And Frank was like, you sure? I was like, yeah, like I'm down to go experience something new. Like, I mean, I'm going to get paid more there than I am in indie ball. So went out and experienced Taiwan. Absolutely loved it in Taiwan too. And then, yeah, so.
You go to Taiwan, August of 23,
Mhm.
pitch just a couple of months, right? And then the next year you end up back with Frank in High Point,
Yep.
and then that starts your journey before KBO. So you
Yeah.
go to Taiwan, you come back, and then you get seen. You tell us how you end up in Korea.
Yeah. I was in indie ball again, in the Atlantic League. And then uh, one of the KBO teams came and they were scouting one of my buddies that was on the team. And for the story goes, I heard from the front office at Hanwha that they asked the scouts if they wanted to stay an extra day to look at the guy that pitched next, and that happened to be me. And I didn't do terrible, so that like then I think they were watching me for like a month. They came to High Point to watch me play, and I noticed someone's name tag was like KBO, and I was like, I forget who I was facing, but there was someone else that was pretty good too that we were playing. So I thought they were there for them. So I didn't really think much into it. Because again, I just wasn't thinking KBO. I was thinking my goal is to get back to Taiwan because that's where I just was. And so, and then about a couple of weeks later, like my agent got a call and he was like, "Hey, would you do a temp for Korea?" I was like, "Wait, Korea's interested?" I'm like, "That's cool." And then I'm like, what's the money look like? What's the opportunity? Yada yada yada. What's the team? And he told me, and I was like, that'd be so sick. And then I talked to my wife, and she was all about it. And so then 2 days later, we were in Korea.
You guys go 2 days after you find out they're interested.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a quick jump.
yeah. We found out in the morning, and then at night I had a flight booked, and then 2 days later I was on a plane going to Korea.
So you don't mind crazy experiences. Like you want to see the world, right? That was
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. I mean,
and
that's what. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. You.
Hyunjin Ryu is part of your team that first year, right?
Yeah.
And then you guys go out there. I've heard you don't speak a lot of Korean, but your wife has kind of jumped into the language a little bit more than
Yeah.
you.
Her Korean's really good. Her
Yeah.
Korean, she can speak like for like 15 to 20 minutes and have like a fluent conversation.
What will you miss in addition to the fans and the crazy atmosphere? What will you miss most about living in Korea?
The food.
Amazing.
It's unreal. Yeah. The
Yeah.
Korean barbecue out there is second to none. And it's like, I just think it's better. It's the quality is better. And I think, and it's less expensive than it is here.
So if not a kid, but if somebody in their 20s is in a similar spot to you, where either they're blocked in an organization or they're released or whatever the situation
Yeah.
might be, and they're looking for a new start, you're going to be a huge proponent of telling them, "Hey, check out Taiwan, check out Korea," because
Yeah.
it worked amazingly well for you.
Yeah, and I was actually talking with one of my buddies. I was in my wedding. He debuted a couple of years ago, and then was in AAA. And I was like, dude, like, are you interested in going to Japan? Because like Japan, they take more relievers than they do in Korea. And I was like, you should have like your agent look into it. Like, it's super cool. Like, I haven't really been to Japan. Obviously, I only went for spring training for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But I was like, you should have him look into it. Like, it's cool. And he's not married, and he doesn't like, so I was like, it could be really cool for you. I was like, but I mean, you got to do what's best for your career, right?
So now North Carolina's home, but you can see yourself somewhere down the road going back to Korea. Not necessarily
Absolutely.
pitching, but
Yeah.
just
Oh
as a
yeah.
visitor. Yeah,
Oh no, we're for sure going to go back to Korea at some point. Well, I don't know how many years, but like we absolutely love it there.
that's awesome. All
Yeah.
right, so now full circle back to the present. As fans get ready to watch you pitch for the first time in an Astros uniform, uh, give us a quick scouting report. Where you mentioned the fastball going from 91, 92. Now, is it still 95 where it was a few years ago?
Yeah. Yeah. Right about there.
What's the rest of your repertoire?
Yeah. Fastball, curveball, slider, changeup, and I just really just try to compete in the zone.
Yep.
I trust my stuff, and I trust my teammates. So if I'm gonna go down, I'm gonna go down fighting. Like I just want to compete at the end of the day. So that's just really what I'm here for.
Yeah, you've got some good defenders here in Houston, so filling up the strike zone is going to be a
Yeah,
good thing.
that's right.
Um, I guess, what do you know about Houston? When you came to Houston, you obviously saw Dyken Park. You saw
Yeah.
the porch and left. It's a friendly porch for right hand hitters. But what do you know about Houston? What's your background other than maybe the years you spent in Amarillo around here in
Yeah.
Houston?
Funny enough, I actually had my bachelor party in Kemah, Texas. So we flew into Houston. So
Really?
it's like my first time being in Houston. So that's actually kind of funny. But one of my buddies lives there. Got some people that I know in Texas. So that's pretty cool. I've heard the traffic is great. So I'm excited for that too. No, man, it was fun though. I was glad that I was able to kind of see some things in the off season, and obviously go check out the field and stuff, and meet some of the coaches and staff. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to it.
Ryan, I know Astros fans are excited to have you aboard, and now they know a little bit more about you. I'm sure they'll be even bigger fans knowing how your journey has gone. We look forward to seeing you at Fan Fest and spring training, and we really thank you for the time today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That is Ryan Weiss. We'll continue with more of our Astroline show. You're listening to Sports Talk 790. Back right after this.